Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, Goodreads, Periscope as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you've had a great week since we last talked. I forgot to mention so many things last time, so I have notes this time, and hopefully I won't forget anything. I just woke up from a nap with my 3-year-old daughter. She's 3, of course, and she wanted to take a nap with mommy, and she's not going to be taking naps for much longer, so anytime she wants to cuddle and sleep with me, I am down for it. So I just woke up from that, so hopefully my notes will guide my brain, and I have a cup of coffee to kind of wake myself up from that. It's gingerbread, and it's really good. So, first thing I forgot to mention last week, we had the giveaway for You So and So bag, and I announced the winner and everything, but I forgot to mention, I wrote it on the thread under the giveaway, so I think some of you saw it there, but in case you didn't see it there, and in case you didn't win and you wanted to get a bag, because her bags are amazing, there is a coupon code for You So and So, and it's Bookish10, capital B, and then lowercase for the rest of the bookish, and then 10, and that gets you 10% off your order, and it's good through the end of the year. And I already got 2 bags. I don't have them yet, but I placed an order for 2 bags. I had a third that I wanted, but I was just like, okay, just get 2, but I love a good coupon code, so I hope you guys go and check that out. And so I'll tell you a bit about what we did this weekend. I had a really busy weekend. Friday, I was getting ready for all the festivities that occurred on Saturday. So Saturday morning, or Friday afternoon, I got a text from my friend Shanita, and she said, hey, we're meeting up tomorrow morning. Are you coming? I completely forgotten. There's this meetup where the people from San Antonio and the people from Austin kind of come down, and we merge in the New Braunfels area, and we have breakfast, and we'll go to a yarn shop near there, and we just kind of hang out. And so I went to that, and it was great to see them. I hadn't seen them in so long, and they're just some of the most amazing, kind, knowledgeable people to get to hang out with. And my friend Dina, who came, got me a little present. I love this. So, look, it's little Matryoshka scissors, and it has a little stopper. But I just absolutely love that. And it was so sweet. She saw these, and she thought of me, and it's really touching when somebody, gets you something just small that makes them think of you. I love that. And so it was a great morning hanging out with them. And after that, I quickly rushed home, and I had baked up on Friday a whole bunch of cookies because I had a cookie exchange to go to in the afternoon along with some other knitting friends from San Antonio. So I got all those cookies ready, and my husband drew little Christmas decorations on all the Ziploc bags so they would be festive. Drove over to there and spent some time knitting and talking to friends that I hadn't seen in a while and just catching up on life, and then brought home all the cookies, and my daughter was eating just the chocolate out of the cookies. She calls the rest the muffin, and then she just wants the chocolate. And then my son was eating other parts, and they were having great fun. And then after that, later in the evening, a couple of hours later, I had book club, and it was my book club's Christmas party. And so we all brought our favorite book and our favorite Christmas book and shared a passage from it. And the book that I brought wasn't exactly a Christmas book. I brought Little Women, but I shared the passage from Christmas, from when they take their Christmas breakfast to the Hummels who have no food, and just give it to them, because I said that to me, that's what Christmas is about, is giving to those who are in need and just sharing the love and the spirit of the season. And so that was the part that I shared. But there were lots of different books that people brought and were sharing. And that was just a wonderful night hanging out. And they had done a kind of Thanksgiving feast kind of thing. And so I had the vegetarian things that I could. And let's see, during that there was a white Santa, a white elephant exchange thing, or I guess a secret Santa, you would call it. So I have that to show in enabling my present. Or I guess I could just show it now. But my secret Santa was my friend April, who introduces me to all the most awesome things. And she's a youth librarian, so she's a wonderful friend and person. She helps me get books for my son, all kinds of things. So this is the bag she got me off Etsy. Little kitties. I like the kitty that is sleeping the best. That's how I like my cats, to be sleeping instead of, this is what my cats would most often be doing, is pulling things off the shelves. But It's very cute. And this is from Disturbingly Adorable on Etsy. And she said she knew she had to get me a zippered pouch. It's not lined with anything. So, that just completely went in my coffee. Oh my gosh. These are my vintage rose earrings that I wore to the Christmas. I can't believe I'm not stopping to refilm this. We're just going to keep going, and I'm not going to drink the coffee anymore. But these are my vintage rose earrings, little mittens and a snowflake. One of them is now in the coffee. I completely forgot that I got home at midnight, took out the earrings, and put them in there. So on with the show. Good thing I have water nearby, and now I'm blushing and red. So that was her Secret Santa thing to me. And then I knit up. So my first finished object, I cannot show any of you because I knit up bookmarks. I knit up 10 different bookmarks. And I actually, if you're on Instagram, I actually posted a picture to Instagram of this. But I knit up 10 different bookmarks in a whole bunch of scrap yarns and different patterns. Some had cables. Towards the end, when I was getting down to the wire of not getting the things done, I just did garter stitch, but I had 11 of those, and then I made up these little tags, and I had a little stamp, and it said, hand knit by, and I wrote my name, and I had these little brads and Christmas trees and snowflakes, and so I punched holes through and put the little brad with snowflake or the Christmas tree. I punched another hole through and tied a little ribbon and attached it to the bookmark, and they were cute little presents, and I thought that was fun, something small I could give to everybody. And they all really liked it. They were saying that they were hoping they were going to get something knit for them. It's so funny, whenever I bring knitting for them, they always ask different questions about yarn festivals. And this time somebody asked me, because people knit at yarn festivals, if the sound of everybody knitting is so loud you can hear the clicking of the needles throughout the whole building. I was like, no. It's like they wondered if the sound accumulated to this huge mass of clicking needles. I was like, I don't know how you would get that. I don't know if that could ever be possible. People all stopped talking and it was just the clicking of needles. But I did share a picture of that on Instagram if you're on there. And speaking of Instagram, I just wanted to tell you guys something really quick. Very quickly, if you didn't know it, Instagram is currently having this thing called #GetYourYarnWishesGranted. And I participated in this last year. I was able to grant quite a few wishes, and I went on there this year and I've granted some, and I'm still looking for more to grant. I've never posted a wish for something for myself. I don't know what I would wish for. For me, I love granting wishes. That makes me the happiest. But so I granted a few, and it's interesting to see because you can see what the most popular yarns are of the year. Because last year there were a lot of requests for mustache sheep, and since she's a local dyer to me and I see her all the time, I was able to grant a lot of those because I'm not worried about being able to get that yarn again, so I can get it. So I was able to grant a lot of those. A lot of the yarns this year that everybody's asking for, I have either A, not heard of at all, so I guess I'm not down with the cool yarns. I didn't recognize most of them, or one of them that was asked for a lot was hedgehog fibers, and I have one skein of that, so I was going to keep my one skein. But it's just a really interesting way to see kind of the trends on what's popular in yarn. And if you haven't participated in that tag or didn't know about it, it's definitely a fun thing to do during the holidays. And it just shows the generosity of the knitting community. It's amazing, and people are all wonderful, and it's just a good tag to go look at to give yourself a smile and kind of boost about how wonderful this community is. I almost drank the earring coffee. It's like when I drank the fiber coffee. Luckily that I heard it clink, so it gave off a warning sign. I'm gonna move the coffee away and have the water over here. But anyways, I also wanted to say before I get into my bag of finished objects right here is it is a special birthday for someone who is in the podcast group today. Jenna, Captain Stitches, who's been with the podcast from the very beginning and has helped to make the podcast community, the group for the BookishStitcher podcast, just so wonderful and chatty and inviting. And I just wanted to wish her a happy birthday and thank you so much for all the encouragement and kind words you've given me throughout the podcasts that I've been doing. And I hope you have an amazing day and get to do lots of fun things and get lots of relaxing time in. So on to my finished objects. And I told you guys you knew last week I was very close to being done on the 2 projects that I had. And I'm wearing the Star Shower cowl. A bunch of people asked me to wear it so they could see what it looks like. And this is what it looks like. I did the neck loose so it fits lovely, and I like it. And my husband loves it. He keeps like, you look so pretty. But the things that I finished up, this is my peppermint leaves hat. And that's what it looks like from the top. It has very gorgeous decreases. And then, so it looks like kind of from the side. I still need to block it with a balloon. Let's see. And this is knit out of some January yarns in the Squash Blossom, and it's her DK base. And it was a great pattern. I love challenging hat patterns because they're challenging, but then they're done. And this made me realize that I have almost only blue hats. So I need to buy hat yarn, and I did at the One Yarn store, hat yarn in different colors, and I need to knit them because I have tons of blue hats. This looks almost green, but it's a turquoisey blue. Then the next thing I finished, this is a present for my son's assistant teacher. And this is the Without a Sound cowl by Alley Coffee. And it's gorgeous. I love how it has the darker and lighter spots. And the yarn I used is one of my 15 oldest skeins. And I forgot to draw for the 15 oldest skeins. I forgot to draw last week too. All right. But I will draw for that. Maybe just on the fly at the end of the podcast. But the yarn for this is Holiday Yarns, and it was in the chai latte color. So it's going to be a Christmas present. And then another Christmas present for my mom. My mom likes to dress up very festive and go to Christmas parties and things like that. So I knew that she would enjoy something red. I don't wear a lot of red, but I got this in a yarn club from Bumble Birch that I was in last year. And this is the Handbrake Cowl by Kay Jones. And I was gifted this by Sarah Hepworth, so thank you so much, Sarah, again, for gifting this. And she gifted me another pattern this week called the Phoenix Hat, which I have to look at and knit up. But this is showing a little more pink than it is. It's a very Christmas red. And I modified the pattern a little bit because I wanted it to be longer, but not super long, and I didn't want it to be as wide. But it was so easy to modify. And then the last thing that I did was, because I didn't want to start anything new till December 1st, and I had finished up those other 2 and then was knitting that one kind of, I knit some blanket squares in Christmas colors. And I just knit 2. And you're probably thinking, they're not attached to a blanket. That's true. So I'm weird with my sock yarn blanket. I know a lot of people just keep going and pick up and knit, and I will occasionally, but what I most often do is I just pick a scrap of yarn that I want to knit, and I just knit that. And then later, after I have a whole bunch of these, I kind of arrange it in the color palette that I like, and they get seamed in. Yes, you do have to seam, but then you get kind of more control over how the colors play together, but also you get to pick whatever yarn you want to knit with instead of if you're trying to match or something. Anyways, so I learned from this that one little mini skein of No Makers is not enough for my size square, but that was fine because I had this tiny mini skein of Miss Babs. So I just did that on each of the squares. It was perfect. And I left ends long so they could be sewn in. And that was fun to do those 2 on Sunday and Monday. I think I did one each day. So those are all of my finished objects. I'm going to have to make myself another coffee after because I really need and want the coffee. So let's see. You know what I realized? I did draw for the oldest skeins. I have it written on a piece of paper here. Just ignore me. So the next thing I have, this is in my Bling Your String bag, and she contacted me, and she's going to do a prize for the Sparkle Cowl, and that will be that one of the winners in the Sparkle Cowl, I have several prizes for that, can choose their own bag, and she does the most adorable stitch markers that match the bag, which makes my heart so happy. The ones on this you've seen several times. There's a Christmas tree, little snowflake, and then matching white and red beads. But so she's going to let the winner, and light bulbs, pick what kind of combination they would like, and then she's going to mail it out to them because she was so sweet. And she said, I can't imagine how much you have to do with postage stuff. And I said, yes, it is a lot. And she offered to do that, which was very kind. Spling your string. And there's also going to be another announcement from her coming up towards the end of December about a really amazing giveaway that you guys will have to stay tuned for. And in here is my Joyful Joyful hat by Megan Williams. Since I had nothing on the needles, I started all new things. It's not entirely true. I have a hibernating color work thing, but I'm saving that. That is going to be something I'll talk about a little bit. But it's my Joyful Joyful hat. It's not one of my 15 oldest skeins. I'm still using a Jitterbug. It's kind of true to color. This has grays and a very dark moss green, and then some different shades of lavender. And I've just knit a little bit on it. Because the way this hat works, it has an inside brim, and so the pattern won't be showing up for a while until I've done the inside brim, and then you start the pattern. And since it's finger weight on tiny needles at first, it takes quite a while. There's the first one, and that hat's going to probably be for me, depending on how the size turns out, since I'm mostly done with my Christmas knitting now. But to show one of the last Christmas project, that might change. I am notorious for adding in last minute Christmas, like, oh, I'd like to knit for this person, and I already kind of have something in mind. But from the book, I have shown you guys before the Norwegian hand knits. My mother-in-law requested a specific pattern out of here, so I got the book. I don't know if I believe it's out of print because I had to pay a little bit for the book. So that's going to be part of her Christmas present because it has some really nice pictures in it. But these are her wristers. I started the cuff. The cuff flew. This part was very fast with the rings, and there you can see the bling your string stitch marker, using that. And I'm starting the rose pattern. It started to slow down because I really have to pay attention. You can see a little bit right there. I have to pay attention on this. It's a present for my mother-in-law. I want it to be perfect, and it requires to follow the chart and things like that. But I did get a tip from one of the ladies I saw on Saturday morning. And this project is in my Mina Makes bag. And it's so wonderful. All the bags that I'm using, I am friends with the person. And I love that. I'm thinking that I'm going to only have bags from friends from now on, and kind of bags that people that I don't know, kind of give those bags, or do maybe a de-stash. But just, I love having bags from friends. It feels very heartwarming. So the next thing is in my Halsey yarn bag. And I forgot to mention last week that she actually, in my package, sent some cowtails. And it's the funniest story because, and I don't know how I forgot to mention this. My husband was like, how did you forget to mention that? But I was opening the package and he was there, and all of a sudden he screams like there is a giant, huge spider. So I dropped the entire package because I'm thinking, where is this spider? Or how I would have screamed if there was a spider. But I didn't take into account, my husband doesn't scream for spiders. What does he scream for? Candy. And he was screaming because there were cowtails in the package. And he was like, these were the candy from my youth. And he was just so excited about these cowtails. So I gave them to him, and he goes, for Christmas, I want a box full of these things. So I gotta find a place that has cowtails so I can make that Christmas wish come true. That would be the funniest thing, to open up and have like 500 cowtails in there. But in here is my Reina shawl. I cast this on when I was actually talking about with this yarn, before I decided to knit the Star Shower, I asked for pattern recommendations of what to knit, and so many of you guys said to do the Raina shawl, and I know a few people who've knit it and love it, and it looks great on them. So I cast on a Raina shawl with one of my 15 oldest skeins, and it's from some sock pixie yarn, and the colorway, this is very old, so I don't even know if she's dying anymore. The colorway is Lady in the Aqua Room. She did a series of yarn colorways based on famous paintings. So I'm not very far. I only worked on this 2 days before I had to stop and do bookmarks. But I like how it's the variegated chunks and the mesh chunks are breaking up, or the garter and the mesh chunks are breaking up the variegation nicely. And then the last thing, because I have 4, I know I normally only have like 3, but sometimes I have more. The last thing I have is, this is going to be a longer episode, try to hurry, my Christmas socks. And these are in a bag from my friend Sue, who is Crafty Knitter 7 and one of the 2 ladies in the amazing Two Tangled Skeins. And it has little mittens. And I'm going to be talking about Sue in the group news section. So stay tuned for an awesome giveaway. Because these bags, they're so great for walking and knitting. You can use it in your house too, but this is perfect. See that? And then you knit from it. And there's no zipper to snag it on or anything like that. So in here are my Christmas socks, and I took these to book club because I have the tradition of always knitting on a sock at book club. And yes, I did have it wound into a little ball with the stripes. My husband loves to wind these, or he says he does, and I say thank you. So this is Fiber Nymph Dye Works. The elves were in the eggnog, and it is my next thing that I have on the needles for the Sparkle Cowl. I don't know how much you can see if they're sparkly or not, but yes, you can see. You see that? These make me so happy. They are just, I don't know, they're like the perfect Christmas sock, and her bases are amazing. They're so soft and squishy. I only have 1 more skein of her yarn, so I'll need to get some more in the new year. But these are my Christmas socks. Stick that back in there. And that is all of my whips. And I just realized the thing that I forgot. I forgot to bring my spinning bobbin down. I don't know how to pause this, so I will show you that next week. But I spun some Ren and Ollie, and it was this giant, fluffy bat that you unfold, and it didn't have anything in it. It was just very smooth, soft. I believe it's merino. And it has colors. It had color chunks, 5 of them, and it was a 5.3 ounce bat. But so I separated each of the colors by chunk, tore off the chunks, and then spun them. And I haven't plied it yet because I'm going to do a chain ply so that I can keep the colors together, but I have spun all the singles, and I'm going to show you that, but I left them upstairs. But if you can imagine, it's light pinks and purples and grays. It's very soft palette. And now let's get on to group news. So we hit 100, sorry, we hit 700 members in the Ravelry group. Oh my gosh. Thank you, and I don't say this every single time, but thank you so much to everybody who keeps coming back and watching, and for everybody who's new and checking out the podcast. Just thank you so much. It's amazing, the community that I've got to meet and the people, and I had, in my wildest dreams, I still don't really believe, like, really, am I reading 700 correctly? Maybe that's like 300, and it's 700. I speechless. So thank you. And we're going to have a 700 member prize giveaway. Normally I would pick a yarn company or a bag company or something and have you guys go to their shop and look at them, and then I would buy something as a prize for that. But what you guys don't know is I absolutely love to put together little packages for people, like different teas or coffees, little things like in a theme, and put it all together. It's one of my favorite things to do for my friends when it's Halloween or Christmas time. I love to put together little packages. And then here in Texas, I don't know if they have this elsewhere, but we call it booing on Halloween, where you take your package up to your friend's door and you put it there and you ring the doorbell and you run away. So they don't know it's you. And it's very fun because it just brightens their day. And you can do it at Christmas time, and it's called something else for Christmas time. But that's one of my favorite things to do. So I would love for the 700 member prize giveaway to do that. And so what you're going to do for that is I'm going to open up a thread, 700 member prize giveaway. And under it, you would put things just like you would if you were doing a swap, but it's just me giving it to you, but swap information will help me to stalk you. So, so whoever is chosen, I'll pick there and make a little package for them, but put stuff like, do you like tea? Do you like coffee? Do you like flavored coffee? What kind of yarns do you like? What kind of colors do you like? Are you allergic to anything? Do you like candy? Do you like owls? Do you like narwhals? Do you like trees? I mean, just anything that would give me a good idea of how to put up this little theme kind of fun package for you. And I am so excited to do this, to like get to know one of you really well and go, or get to know all of you really well through reading the prize thing, but then get to pick something for one of you. And just, I'm so excited about this, if you can't tell. But that's for the 700 member prize giveaway. And then we have a new giveaway, and it's from my friend Sue, her Etsy store is Tangled Skeins CA. And this is my bag that I have from her. I also have the adorable fox bags, this little fox sleeping on a navy blue background. But she's offering up a bag giveaway for us, which is so sweet of her. And I do VKNs with her and some other people some of the nights whenever I can. And they're just a wonderful group of ladies who I really love. And the giveaway for this, she's going to also let you pick out something from her shop, and she's going to mail it, which is so sweet. I really love that they offered to do that. And so anything you would like from the shop, I'm going to set up a Ravelry post thread and link her store, and you can go there and look and then post about what you would like. And if it's still available when the winner is drawn in 2 weeks, then you can have that one. And it's for a sock size. And there's also a coupon code if you see something in there that you just absolutely love so much that you would be sad if it's not there anymore, because I've had that happen to me. So you want to go ahead and buy it. The code is bookish with a capital B and then 15 for 15% off your order. And that is everything for the group. Oh, I wanted to say, so let me check my notes. So Yinny Knit posted a thing, and I thought it was really fun, about goals for 2016. So I'm going to also open up, I need to remember to open up all these threads. I'm going to also open up a thread for 2016 goals. I have kind of been letting them percolate in my mind about what I would like to do, and I know some. Like I said, I have a hibernating project of a Fair Isle sweater, and I've shown that on the podcast, and I need to knit that up next year. That's one of my goals. So I'm kind of starting to think about mine. And if you do goals, or not even goals, aspirations, just things you'd like to do, a lot of people don't like the word goals, but whatever word you want to use. I love to kind of set myself little challenges and things like that, that's my personality. Everybody's personality is different. But so I'm going to set up a thread for that, and I would love for you to post, and we can see like if there's something really unique that somebody's doing to kind of, give ideas. I'm also thinking about what I would like to do for next year's like year-long knit along, and I'm thinking it's going to be scraps. Do you have scraps growing like crazy, like gremlins, the little cute guys that you feed them and they're all over? I have scraps that are coming out of everywhere, and then every time I knit a project, there's more scraps. So I was thinking it might be fun to do a thing next year where we knit up our scraps, little projects, and get those done and kind of get some of those out of the buckets. I have little buckets of scrap yarns. I need to get those gone. So I'm going to set that up, and I would love to hear your goals. And then the next thing is Yarn Poetry contacted me forever ago and asked about doing for 2016 a month or a year of short stories where you'd read a short story every month. So something very small and manageable that we could do. And she asked, and she was like, oh, you could do it with Amy, who does Knit Theory, and you could do it together. And so Amy and I have been kind of writing back and forth and trying to figure things out. And I wanted to put out there, if anybody who's watching this is on Ravelry a lot, is chatty, and would like to help me, I don't often ask for help, but I think I might need help with like a moderator or something because, I have little ones, I have work stuff, I manage a mommy play group, with some friends, I have a lot of, we all wear a lot of different hats, so it would be nice if there's somebody who's willing to help with doing the knit along stuff and just little different things. So if you maybe would like to help with that, that would be great. So that is all for the upcoming knit alongs and read alongs and things. And I also wanted to say BD Last G, who is a member of our Ravelry group, has just opened up her own Etsy store, and I think it's wonderful, and she's so sweet and very nice, and I've gotten to know her through chatting on Ravelry and following her on Instagram and seeing her things, so I've been seeing the things that she's making for her in her Etsy store, and there's some really cute ones. There's one that I already know that I would really like to get, so I'm going to be looking for that later today if she has it updated. But I just wanted to tell you guys about it. So if you'd like to go check it out, since she's brand new and she's just opened this up to kind of show her some love. And her Etsy shop is gisprojectbags.etsy. So that is all of the news for this week. Oh my gosh, it's 32 minutes. I will rush through the rest of it. Like I said, I went yesterday morning with some friends to have breakfast, and then there's a yarn store called The Lucky You. The Lucky You, which is right across the street. And the last time I went there, it's been months and months since I went there. I went there in the beginning of May. And it was funny because when I went there in the beginning of May, I bought 3 skeins of yarn. And this time when I went there, I bought 3 skeins of yarn. So I'm just going to show those to you very quickly. And flip this. Just Sabby skeins, and the colorway is Stellarium. It's 400 yards of a fingering weight, 80% superwash merino nylon, and I just loved all the colors in it. It's like denims and purples and whites and speckles, and it's very pretty. And then the next one I got is from my friend Leilani, who dyes Heavenly Fibers. And this is Pandora at Night. And I know I've either looked at this, or I don't own this, but I looked at this at Stitches, Texas, because it's beautiful. And this is in the Stellina. It's the dark teals and greens, along with these speckled white sections. And then the last thing I got, because like I said, I want more hats that are not blue. So, and it's funny because last time I went there months ago in May, I bought 2 skeins of Texas dyed wool and sock yarn, and I actually did them as a giveaway for maybe 400 or 500 members, I don't know, but I had them as a giveaway one time. And so this is Texas dyed wool, and this skein that I got is called Festive. It might have been a Halloween color, I don't know, but I think it'll look okay on my head. I think, yeah. So good. But it's going to be a hat. So that is all of the enabling, and I believe that's everything. I really hope I didn't forget anything other than the spinning. So let's get on to the book, and I'm going to keep this under 40 minutes. I'm going to do it. I hope I haven't reviewed this book before. If I have, I'm so sorry. I have a list where I keep the books that I've done on the podcast, but I need to update. It's been a little while. So this is the this is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. And it's a memoir about her childhood. And she had a very dysfunctional, but at times uniquely brilliant childhood. Her father would either border between this brilliant man who loved his kids when he was sober and would just teach them these amazing things in amazing ways and kind of just full of life and charm. But then when he was drinking, he would become destructive. He would lose the family's money, and they were very poor, and they just horrific living conditions that were so sad. And then her mother was very much a free spirit woman who did not really want to raise a family, didn't want to tie herself down, but she stayed with the family. But she's not motherly. I guess that's what I'm thinking of saying. She's not motherly. She doesn't look after her children and take care of them and try to teach them things and make sure they're safe. She's like, oh, you want food? Go cook yourself something. And then the 4-year-old gets set on fire at the stove and ends up with burns. And it does have stuff that's very sad in it. But throughout it, you see these children bond together and how there are moments in their childhood that were just these bright little shining lights, and the parents eventually, when the kids are older, end up homeless just because I am sure, since I have some psychology background from college, I am sure that there's some mental illness in these parents. But it was a brilliant read. She does a great job, and it says that Walls has joined the company of writers such as Mary Karr and Frank McCormick, who have been able to transform their sad memories into fine art. And I'm just going to read the back really fast. The Glass Castle is a remarkable memoir of resilience, redemption, and a revelatory look into a family at once deeply dysfunctional and uniquely vibrant. When sober, Jeanette's brilliant and charismatic father captured his children's imagination, teaching them physics, geology, and how to embrace life fearlessly. But when he drank, he was dishonest and destructive. Her mother was a free spirit who abhorred the idea of domesticity and didn't want the responsibility of raising a family. The Walls children learned to take care of themselves. They fed, clothed, and protected one another, and eventually found their way to New York. Their parents followed them, choosing to be homeless, even as their children prospered. The Glass Castle is truly astonishing, a memoir permeated by the intense love of a particular but loyal family. And the children were successful, so I think it says a lot about her and her siblings that they, in spite of their horrible childhood, they prospered and they've done really well. So this is the book, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. So that's everything I have for this week. Be sure to come over to the Ravelry group if you haven't joined already. I would love to have you there. We still have the Sparkle Cow going on. Lots of prizes for that. And there's going to be the 700 member prize drawing and the Tangled Skein CA bag drawing. And you have to be a member for any drawing. It's just, I think, how it is with everything. Just how it is. But yes, definitely come over and join. And I would love to hear on this week's episode any of your goals for the next year. Or I guess I'll set up a separate thread for that. But till next time, I hope you guys have a great week and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye.